Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I mean, like, pretty phenomenal. I've been catching up on all the good stuff. I've eaten delicious things. I've nurtured my soul and body. I'm good. My
Awesome.
name is Natasha Sofia. I am the Global Director of Advocacy for Mijenta Tequila.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to jump right into our icebreaker questions, okay? So you ready? We normally do this for all of our people that we interview, and it seems to just like give us a little chill mood, and we're ready to go. All right. If you had to describe your personality using a cocktail, what would it be and why?
This
Hey, what's your
one
favorite?
is hard because, like, it really depends on my mood, like, in a lot of different facets, but I want to say, like, my personality would be like a piña colada. It's warm, it represents hospitality. It is like a nice reprieve of reality, but it's still a full bodied, you have to go into it knowing what you're getting into,
Right. Oh.
you know, deceivingly dangerous.
Well, how do you like to start your morning?
It really depends because I travel a lot for work, but when I'm home, I'm the mother of a tiny little dinosaur who is 3 years old. So my morning can consist of trying to sip my coffee as I wrangle a tiny human and I clean the house, and it's a little chaotic but full of a lot of love.
That's right. It's all love. It's all love.
And then there is the days that I'm traveling where I just look for a nice cafe. I sit with like an audiobook and I just kind of like center myself around like the things that bring me joy and the purpose. You got to give yourself that like mind time of why am I here? Why am I doing this?
What's your go-to cocktail when you're out with your friends? Okay.
So it's again duality, but I'm a sucker for a good ranch water. I love having like a mijenta and soda, a little bit of lime. I think it lets the tequila talk through. It lets you have all of the expression that you were meant to have out of that tequila in a way that it's still communal. You're hydrating. It's not like you're having a neat pour, which I love doing too. But I really do enjoy a good ranch water. I just find it so refreshing, especially like now I'm in Texas and like it was 110 the other day and I was like, ooh, ranch water. A ranch water has never tasted as good as when I was in 110 degrees and I was by the pool like,
Oh my
but any other time, sometimes I'm just like a tequila Negroni person, like absolutely about that.
Friends. Okay, how about a surprising fact that most people wouldn't guess about you?
I think that a surprising fact would be that I am invested in combining my love for hospitality and activism. I think that beyond the bar and business, I'm passionate about supporting the causes that I believe in and that I think would benefit our communities. And I think that brands are a great tool to accomplish that, especially if brands believe in what you're doing and that mindfulness.
Right.
Finding and building spaces for the Latino, Latina, Caribbean community. That's the most important thing to me, for our voices to be heard and represented.
Yeah.
How did you find yourself in this position?
Interesting. So I was working with Davos brands, so Aviation Gin, Sombra Mezcal, Astral Tequila. We represented Ichigo Shoshu, Balcones Whiskey. And when we sold to Diageo, I worked really hard to like wrap everything that I had worked really hard to build with these brands and hand it off. And when I did that, I'm a very loyal person. And I had never I worked with a brand until, it got sold. And then I was like, where do I find a home now that represents my values, that gives me the opportunity to seek this career in the way that I want to do it while being a mother, while traveling and still like aspiring to do more. And they didn't limit me, because a lot of times as a woman, as a mother, you get put into these little boxes of, you can't do that because you're a woman, or you can't do that because you're a mother. Mostly now a mother. That's always been kind of like a little barrier to entry in conversations even. Right. So when I was looking for a job, I was very fortunate to have a few job offers on the table, but my mentor and best friend, Juan Coronado, who had been, I sort of got this guy divine intervention. He like started seeding into the universe, she's gonna work with me, she's gonna work with me.
Wow.
And then when it happened, he was like, you're coming in, and he gave me the opportunity to join Mijenta and connected me with everybody. But it was something that just resonated with me. It was a brand with strong ethos, you know, and I know that there's a lot of questions and I might be jumping ahead of myself, but it was that same framework of somebody wanting to do things the right way that I was like, I need to be a part of this. Like, I need to get involved in and give this my best.
I felt this way about Mijenta ever since I went to
She
Barcana.
has.
I have
She
talked
has.
about your brand for so long. I tell
She
everyone,
tells
I
me
love
they
it.
are good people.
It's
She
good
said they're
people. The vibe
good
is just-
energy.
Yes, I just absolutely love what you guys represent, and I had to talk to you today because, you know, it's just very inspiring, truly inspiring, and I think everyone needs to hear about it.
I feel like everyone around me in the company is inspiring. Everybody has their story. From the top to the bottom, there isn't like really a hierarchy of like the top to the bottom. It feels like we're all on the same level working towards a goal. And I think that everybody just brings so much and a lot of that intentionality that, yeah, it makes it really special to be able to work towards something with people that share a common vision.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the founding of Mijenta Tequila? And we know what inspired you to join the team, but what can you say as a piece of advice for someone else looking to get there to the same place you are?
I'm gonna start with like what made Mijenta. So Mijenta was born out of the desire to create a tequila that delivered exceptional quality, but it gave back to the people who produced it and to the communities that were involved. So that was something that our founders were incredibly passionate about, and that was kind of like the baseline of doing it. They wanted to build something the right way. They wanted to do things in a way that just set an example and a high bar of, if we can do this as a company that's just starting, that doesn't even have the resources that other companies have to do things the right way, then why isn't everybody doing it? And also, not even just to hold people accountable, but yes, that, but to be able to show what it looks like to do things the right way, and to always be in the ever journey of learning how to be better and relearning and learning from mistakes, and give each other, not only as making the liquid, but as a team, to keep growing, right? And learning and exploring how we can make this brand amazing. And I think that in that ethos, the company has done a really, really great job.
I agree.
So staying true to yourself and continue on that path helps you to meet people, like-minded people who also like to make meaningful choices. Check off the list.
I'm like, you just talked like all of us. But you asked also how'd I get over here, and I've been in this industry 19 years and a half. I started behind the bar at 15. I left my house, and I was not incredibly smart with my choices, but I was incredibly passionate and disciplined, even though I was absolute chaos. So it was a very disposition of fun. And I think that in the past 20 years, everything I did was work really, really hard, and I worked behind bars. And one day I was working behind a bar when I moved to New York from Puerto Rico, and this lady walked in. She was interviewing somebody else, and that interview was tanking. Like, when I was just like, you know when you're like trying to pretend you're not listening, and you're like, I was pretending not to listen, but this gentleman was saying the wrong things. And I was just like a nerd who was like, no, that's not right. This is the information, but I kept it. So I kind of scoffed and whatever, and I left it. But she sent the dude packing, and she stayed at the bar for a drink, and she just asked me, why were you scoffing? And I was like, well, I was scoffing because he answered this to this, and actually, this is a brand that was made in like 1875. It has this history. It was founded by this. It was like in the East India Trading Company, and I like started nerding out about all these facts and just passionately speaking, and just I like teaching. I like educating. I like sharing stories. So that was also what drove me into this. I like being a storyteller. So being a storyteller, she was just like, "Do you want to be a brand ambassador?" And I was like, "What's that?" I didn't even know what it was. Like, I didn't even understand the concept. I didn't even know that I had friends that were it because I didn't understand that in Puerto Rico that wasn't a role.
Right.
There wasn't that career path for people like me. And also, like, I was just a young person starting out. Like, what?
Yeah.
So that was my doors open, and from there, like, I've just worked really hard that once I've gotten the roles, I show why I bring value to the table and what that value could look like. If you give me a little bit more of whatever I'm asking for, I will show you a plan like, hey, this is what I've done, but if you believe in me and trust me a little bit,
This is what we can do.
this is what we can do.
Yeah.
And I've been really vocal about saying that and asking for that.
Yeah.
Just like you said, people in Puerto Rico might not know what a brand ambassador is, or at the time didn't know that that was an option, but you're out here doing it.
Yeah.
We're just trying here. Nobody knows how to live. We're improvising.
Yeah. Believe you me, we thought of it. We're like, oh my God, are we really doing this?
Thank you. To get on this platform, we're like, all right. Like, where our subscribers are getting up there, we're like, okay, people are watching, you know. We hope that they're enjoying the content that we're giving them, because we just want to give them the real.
Just even you guys doing this, like, it really does amplify voices, and I think that that's what our communities need as a whole. A lot of times, a lot of people that have like so many self-doubts and so many questions of like, should I take up this space? Can I take up this space? And the fact that you guys are doing it and amplifying voices like mine, like, I'm really grateful.
Tell us about your experience being a female in this industry.
You know, I'm also like a completely tattooed Latina woman who's very loud and opinionated, so definitely hasn't made it easier.
Okay.
And the spirits industry has traditionally been so male dominated. So stepping into leadership as a woman has come with a lot of challenges. I've had to prove myself time after time. I've had to learn how to turn challenges into opportunities. I think that I felt that at one point a lot of these challenges were like bringing me down so hard, and I just had to like think, like reframe myself. No, this isn't a challenge. Challenges are opportunities for growth. There are opportunities for personal advancement and reflection, and I think that I've taken every single challenge as a lesson. Like, you know, I'm not somebody that thinks bad things happen, because out of, you know, there's a saying in Spanish that says, no hay mal que por bien no venga. There is no bad that good will not come out of. So those challenges, I feel like, have been a blessing, and I just have to remind myself, like, I have to stay true to my values. I'm building strong networks. I'm advocating for diversity and inclusion. I've been able to overcome obstacles and carve out space for myself and other women and other people from my communities. And once I think about that and how much that means to me, and that's my true purpose, I kind of like start just centering myself into a different mind frame where I can just push forward more intentionally, because I'm like, okay, you know, maybe this isn't the opportunity I truly was seeking. Maybe this isn't the door that I needed to open. Like, sometimes we force ourselves into doors that really aren't going to serve us.
Right.
And I just go and keep looking for that door that's truly going to be a space of celebration, a space that also encourages the type of joy that our communities truly need.
Sí se puede, right?
Sí se puede. You, and ask you, because like, I want to know how this started. This combo, I want to know.
That's another day.
Yeah. You don't have enough time yet. One day we will.
We'll get on the books. We'll get out there. What can you tell us about environmental responsibility?
Yeah, that's a big one.
So I feel like sustainability is a word that goes around a lot, but for us, it really isn't just a buzzword. It's at the core of every decision that we make, from sourcing our agave to how we package our products. Every step is thoughtfully designed. and to minimize the impact on our environment. And on a day-to-day, this means reevaluating our process. Nothing is taken as a concrete end, because I think what the beauty of this is that we're so small of a company that we can be nimble, and what we thought was best today, tomorrow has a better way of doing it, and we're adaptable to that. I think that the really special thing is that we have Elise Som, who is our co-founder, and she's our director of sustainability. And she is just always looking for ways to like challenge it and just push us to a completely different level of sustainability. She's the one who led the efforts for us to be the first B Corp certified company. So when we talk about, sustainability and our eco-friendly practices, it really has to do with her. And when we think about that, we think about like things as simple as the label that you see on Mijenta.
Yeah.
That label is made out of upcycled agave fiber. And
Awesome.
and you'll see that in there, it's not perfect. And this is made by a community in Mexico that does this for us. And they said, like, you're the first person who did this at that time that we asked for it. And what they were saying is like, nobody really likes to do this because it's not perfect and it's not consistent. And I'm like, I really think that that's life, though. Like, nothing has to be perfect, nothing has to be consistent. But as long as it's intentional, that's the true nature of things that matter. So our labels are made out of upcycled agave fiber, so are the boxes. And it's something that is into that intentionality. Another thing is, the distillery that we work with, at our request, just put 1,300 solar panels because they understand our commitment to minimizing our impact on the earth, and they're working with us. They see how we're growing and the intentionality of everything that we do. So that's something that I think is just at the core. I can keep going days and days on this, but like every single step that we do is something that we're incredibly well thought out, and we are looking forward to launching some really special initiatives come the end of the year.
Yeah, the tequila market is super competitive, right? But what can you tell us about Mijenta, how it differentiates itself from other companies in regards to its tequila?
In a market that's so saturated with brands, I think Mijenta stands out because it's not following a lot of trends, and it kind of challenges existing trends. Plus, I think we're just staying true to our roots, to our values, and we're just being authentic. Like, we're all holding each other accountable to authenticity, because to be in the market as saturated as tequila, you have to be authentic. Yeah. You have to bring something so intentional to the table that people want to get behind it because they understand that what you're doing is different. It's not something that's just a copy paste. It's not something that we're handing to you because we want to sell something fast. Mm-hmm. I think, from the beginning, one thing that has ensured in Mijenta Tequila is that Ana Maria Romero Mera, our maestra tequilera, has pushed the limits from using 4 different barrels in our añejo, which we use, new and used white oak, new and used French oak. We use acacia and cherry, CA cherry, not SA cherry, just in case. But also, like, her creativity distinguishes Mijenta so well. Yes. That it is a representation of something truly special. I think that that's one of the things that really pushes us. And another thing that she did that I think differentiates us in categories is in the Cristalino category, she went and made a Cristalino without additives. And she decided that she wanted to make something with a symphony barrel where she took staves from across the U.S., from Minnesota, from Missouri, from Pennsylvania, from Virginia, and that resulted in a very complex profile. And then she made the Cristalino, and I was side by siding so hard, with the añejo, then the Cristalino, the reposado, and then the Cristalino, reposado and Cristalino. And I kept going back and forth, and I was like, she's brilliant. Yeah. She's just brilliant. And in, categories that are so saturated and that have a lot of feedback, of different brands, I think that she's just proposing different things that haven't been talked about. I am a fangirl of
I was just about to say, were you fangirl?
I can't hide my face. Like, as much as I have an RBF that I'm like, I can also be like, and she's like talking and I'm like, keep talking. Yes. Because it's exciting to hear somebody that's ignited by passion. It's exciting to hear somebody that's driven with purpose and creativity. So when you hear her, you can tell that she is uncompromising, one, and that's something that makes you automatically go like, oh, I respect this and I listen. But then you realize the intentionality. And I know that these words keep repeating themselves, but they're just so at the core of every single step for every single thing that we do as a brand.
And I'm sure she loves to have someone there who you can see how excited and how the meaning of it all is hitting home.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would you like to have on your team besides someone who gets it?
Gets it, yeah,
right?
Truly.
What can you tell us about the locals? Is it, am I pronouncing right, Jalisco?
Jalisco. So one of the initiatives that I'm most proud of is our ongoing partnership with the Women's Earth Alliance. Since 2022, we have worked with them to fund and their work in supporting women and agricultural industry in Mexico. So to the date, we have funded 6 of these initiatives across all Mexico, supporting women's rights, indigenous rights, forest protection and sustainability initiatives. Some which are Las Cañadas, Bosque de Nieblas, which is an agricultural cooperative in Veracruz that hosts courses and apprentice programs to enable the community and its members to be able to adopt sustainable and regenerative agricultural practices to Mujeres de la Tierra, Mujeres de la Periferia, which is an indigenous women's collective in Milpa Alta. And it's an area on the outskirts of Mexico City that its economic independence is very limited. And there's a lot of abuse and machismo towards women and little girls and children in general. So, and it's an area that it has low rates of home ownership as well as land ownership of the people who live in. So this collective works really hard to give back to these communities and empower them and give them the tools to take their land back. And you know, there's a few others like out of 6 that really are doing an incredible job, like Sirena de Mexico, right? That, you know, it is a new collective that's being formed by several organizations dedicated to promoting gender equity while protecting the waters in Mexico. And these are the types of causes that really align with us. And I think that it's something truly special. There's like Afro Caracolas, which is an anti-racist and Afro-feminist collective in Guerrero that's dedicated to protecting and promoting human rights of the Black and Afro-Mexican women. And I think that being a part of these causes and being able to support things that we as a company believe in is truly the most rewarding thing. I think that if I think of my favorite moments with this brand is anytime that these moments and these initiatives get supported and come to fruition, and we get any feedback from partners like this, that truly makes like, the work that we do, like, I know it looks very luxurious because that's what brand ambassadors are supposed to do. We're supposed to make it look very easy and very fun, but you know, there's a lot of the background work that I think doesn't get seen, and the rewards that we get is this, to be able to have these partnerships and to be able to know that we're supporting communities, that, you know, somebody's life will change because of the way you drink, because you mindfully drink a specific brand.
We are so excited. She really didn't know. Yeah, I was telling her this whole time, all this, you know, all this information about Mijenta, and she's like, okay. But see, you have confirmed it.
What is coming next for Mijenta? I know they told you can't tell
us.
Can you give us just a snippet, like just something small?
Okay. I'll tell you a snippet of something that's really exciting.
All right.
Okay.
But you can't tell anyone.
Okay, we can't tell anyone.
Nobody's listening.
Okay, we can't tell anyone. Nobody.
No, I'm kidding. You can tell them. So At the beginning of September, we're gonna launch our first of what will be a new series, and we're calling it the Maestra Selection Series, which will give Anna a platform to explore the immense world of flavors and aroma in tequila, and there will be like very small, very intentional, innovative releases that come annually, and the first release represents a number of firsts for us, and I think for the category, because I haven't heard anything like it. The first is going to be a single estate release that is going to be over proof expression, coming at 50 ABV, and most importantly, it's going to be the first tequila ever made with 100% agave de semilla. So this is agaves that were raised from the seed, which is the truest representation of the DNA in the reproduction of an agave. Nearly all agaves in the industry to produce tequila are clones that grow off the mother and are replanted. And however, over time, the genetics of the clones grow weaker. They become more prone to disease and so forth. So Anna had the idea to try an expression that is made only from agaves that are grown from seeds, which have been pollinated and represent the first in a new generation of agave plants. And the results are incredible. I can tell you that when I tried it, I was just like taken aback and in awe, because I had never tasted something that tasted so connected.
Wow.
So connected. It is truly a baffling and special pour of tequila. And I'm really excited for it. It's going to be incredibly limited. Like, we're not making this to make a ton of it. This is what it is what it is. If you got a bottle, buy a bottle for you, buy a bottle for your kid, right? Because you won't ever see it again.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of Shake, Stir and Mingle, telling us about yourself, Mijenta, its initiatives. I've enjoyed speaking with you.
Very much so, right?
Yeah.
But speaking with both of you, I can't wait to sit down and have a meal with you.
Yes.
Hello, sippers. I just want to thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate you being a part of our Shake, Stir, and Mingle community. If you like what you're watching, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one.